Ladies and gentlemen, I understood that reference. But this is Fred the Alien Productions podcast.
Ahaha.
Ah-ha-ha-ha.
Yes.
11 minutes to midnight.
Cue the music.
Cued music.
I don't know what we're yelling about! We came, we saw, we kicked its ass!
Finished. I don't know, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Kind of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it some style?
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Boring conversation anyway.
Look, we're gonna have company! Loud noises!
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
I'm a Kendall Richardson.
I'm a Siki Fulya Kantarmaja.
And I'm barely holding it together because of my sickness. I'm Michael Lister.
Yay.
Yay!
And you are now experiencing a podcast called Fred.
Yes, using it for the mediums of Panadol and Lemsip, and also a
Yep.
little bit of energy drink just to get us on track.
Yep.
Yes.
Ha!
And coffee too.
And coffee, and also pausing my mic so I can blow my nose to not
Go.
Hey.
freak people out.
Nice. Yes, it's going to be one for the books, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. And we'll start with our weekly watchings. Fulya, take us through what you've been watching this week.
Okay, so I finally finished Dragon Ghost House Hunting. That is done. It was nice and cute and comforting. Just a big old red dragon that's just looking for a home, and then you get stories about other creatures looking for homes as well, which is really cool. And essentially, I realized as I kept watching this series that they're essentially in an RPG game. They're in an RPG, but this is from the monster's point of view. So it's kind of funny because every time the heroes come along to try and, fight the dragon, they get obliterated and they're like, oh, they just got, teleported back to their last save point. And then you'll see them again in another episode and they'll pop up again. Not you again. They come across a dragon. It just never ending cycle. So it's actually quite fun. I also did a little movie watch because haven't been feeling well this past week, so I needed something like comfort food kind of movie. So I went through my Disney catalog and I decided that I would go and watch Encanto because I hadn't watched Encanto in a while. So I rewatched Encanto and it was good fun. And the music in that movie is so good. It is so much fun.
Yeah,
I love it.
very good soundtrack.
Yeah. So I rewatched that. And I have finished season 2 of the Food That Built America.
Nice.
I have started season 3. And so far I've learned about Subway and how that became a thing. And Subway sandwiches in general. Or submarine sandwiches, I should say. That's what they were known for. Back in the day, they were known as a submarine sandwich.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah. But it was only known to like an Italian sort of an area in the East. So like in New York. So it was mostly like in the Little Italy kind of an area. When you go to a deli, they would make the submarine sandwiches. And it didn't start off with Subway either. There was another place that was doing submarine sandwiches originally, called Blimpies, because to them it looked like a blimp more than a submarine. So yeah, Blimpies and Subway kind of went head to head back in the day. So yeah. So that was a really interesting episode. And then the second episode after that in season 3 was about beer, and it was between Schiltz and Pabst, which was the era of when Germans started immigrating over to America. And they decided that rather than drinking room temperature English ale, they would make cold lager. So it was actually really, that was also another interesting thing, the way that they made and brewed um, uh, their beers, their lagers at the time, and they would serve it cold and all that sort of stuff. So it was actually really cool where it started, the flavoring, and then going into the point where they were going head to head with each other a lot.
Mm.
And then like to the point where they were trying to one up each other a lot, because they came out of the same city. They came out of Milwaukee, and
Ah.
Milwaukee was the place for beer. That's where a lot of the beer breweries were. And so both of the, so Pabst and Schultz were like, is it Schultz or Schlitz? I can't remember which one, but yeah, they were just sort of, going head to head. And it got to a point where they would start actually providing these beers to, they didn't call them pubs back in the day. They were called something else. Something houses or something like that.
Brew house.
Where a brew house, maybe, where they would exclusively be serving that brand's beer at that particular place. And so
Right.
they would have the rights in that particular location, or sorry, in that venue, to serve their beer, and that's where they would rake in more of the profits. So they were kind of started to do all that, and then it was very interesting stuff. This is the kind of history I like to learn about. I never liked doing history back in high school, but this is the kind of history I will be happy to learn about. All about food.
Nice. The history that matters.
Exactly. So really enjoying the food that built America. Although on SBS for some reason it's known as the food that built the world. But I
Yeah, I'm not
guess
sure.
it'll probably get to that point later down the track, maybe. But we'll see.
Well, we
And then
are the world.
Ah.
We are the children.
Yeah. And then the last thing that I will mention is that I am now all caught up on The Last of Us.
Woo!
But here's the thing. I have gone into season 2 absolutely blind, because I have no idea what happens in part 2.
Mhm.
The only thing I knew what was going to happen was what happened in episode 2. I just didn't know when it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how soon it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I was theorizing it going in. I'm like, it's either got. Oh, well, ages ago, we were like, me and a friend of mine, we were talking about it happening maybe closer to the end of season 2. Because, like, how are they going to stretch out the game over 2 seasons and all this?
Yeah.
But then we were like, okay, no, it's going to happen in the first, like, 2 or 3 episodes. And then it happened in episode 2. And I'm like, okay, I cry now. Anyway, you talk about it. I want to know how you're feeling now that you've seen all of season 1 and that hell of an ending to season 1, right? And then we time jump a few years later. How are you feeling now that you're caught up?
I'm not quite sure how I feel, but it's one of those things where it's like I can't speak from the gamer's point of view because I haven't played the game. I can only speak from a viewer's standpoint, as a watcher of the actual show. And so far it's pretty good. Caitlin Dever is a great actor. I will I'll do that. The one complaint that I'm hearing from a lot of people, especially people who have played the game, is that she's not intimidating enough to pull off the angst that she and the anger that she has. But in saying that, for me, like I kind of, she's still to me, she was still a psycho. She's still a psycho. And I kind of feel like I can understand the point of view of people saying that, you know, Abby had the right to do that, the right to be angry. But I also kind of understand Joel and why he did what he did.
It's an interesting conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that I realized, it was a piece of dialogue that that Abby was mentioning as she was about to pretty much kill Joel.
Spoilers.
That's why I said it so low.
No, yeah. It's been almost a week, I think.
Yeah.
If you don't know by now, then yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or if you haven't
How
played
can
the
you?
game.
I mean, even my wife knows, and she hasn't watched it or played the game. It's like, what the hell happened? The internet just exploded.
Yeah.
As I knew it would. I knew
Mm.
it would. Yeah.
So Abby mentions that Joel ended up killing her dad, who was the surgeon from the last episode of season 1. And she said that he wasn't armed. Now, technically, he picked up a scalpel. He was armed.
You brought a scalpel to a gunfight.
Exactly.
Uh,
He was armed.
Oh yeah, he had fists. They're registered weapons. So I shot him.
Indiana Jones style.
I don't see. Look, the thing is though, like what Joel did, I don't agree with
Yeah.
the fact that he shot him in the head straight off. Maybe he could have debilitized him and just shot him in the leg or something, but like not straight up kill him. You know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, then you kind of see the wake of bodies he left behind.
Nuts.
So, I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't know whose side to be on. I'm stuck on the fence right now.
And
But-
that's what The Last of Us is. It's you can see both sides. You can even choose either side.
But I feel like it's what Abby did. The fact that she wanted to kill him slowly was like, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal, and she's a psycho. That's the one. Sorry, already not an Abby fan. But we'll see where the rest of the story leads, shall we?
Yes, we will.
Yes,
Yes,
and that's
we
all
will.
I've been watching.
Amazing. That was great, Fulya. Thank you. Mike,
Hello.
what have you been watching? I know one thing.
Well, yeah, but
Yes.
I'll save that for last. That can be dessert.
Okay. That can be dessert.
Well, essentially, it's what I've been watching with my kids, as well as what I've been watching with my wife, which is cool. Me and the kids have been alternating between 3 shows on Max. We're a big Max family at the moment, and so we're alternating between The Amazing Adventures of Gumball, which is this weird hybrid animation show that all takes place in this world that has different animations. Like one character's like CGI, the other one's like a puppet, and it's like really really interesting and weird and funny, and my boy loves it in a weird way. But we're also watching Adventure Time as well, because I've been meaning to watch it as well. And my daughter really enjoys that because she knows of Adventure Time because we play Lego Dimensions, and Finn's one of the characters, and I've been meaning to watch the whole thing because apparently this is like one of the shows that's like a generational thing, like pool. It's like, this is amazing, and you can see like different. You can see like the surface level of it being Finn being the only human in this magical, strange world, but it's also the top layer. And if you delve a bit deeper, there's a lot more going on. And as an adult, you can see what's going on. Like apparently, this is like a post-apocalyptic world. Where the world used to be something else, and then something happened, and all that. It's great. It's very interesting, and it's fun, and it's got a lot of edgy humor for a show, for a kids show, which I do admire. It's like I get what you mean. It's like, give me some sugar. And it's like, and it's all hugging and all that. It's like, well, yeah, I can see what you're dealing with. And there's another show that I've been watching. It's a little bit more for the older kids. It's called Regular Show, and I quite like that one. Yeah, with Rigby and the other guy, Mordecai. About these 20-somethings working at a park. And they're all different sort of animated characters, but you can sort of see it's definitely an office situational comedy, which is fun, and a lot of fantasy sort of elements like coming in, like the first episode is they find this this keyboard that they play, and it's also magical as well, and they can send people to the moon, and it's great. I like it. It's definitely a good palate cleanser for the show that me and my wife have been watching, because we've been still watching The Pit. The Pit is a very, very well executed medical procedural that takes place in an ER, and yeah, the last couple of episodes are very harrowing. I like the fact that there was like procedurals that they did at the start of the show that sort of come into play of the last bit, because something happens, and everyone's rushing around because it's just absolutely bedlam of what happened. And I do recommend it, but it does deal with a lot of very good depictions of injuries and all this, so it's not for the faint-hearted. So Fulya, maybe not. It just
watching medical procedurals. I've watched them.
Yeah,
I've watched a lot of them.
Yeah, okay. See
I
how
think
you
I'd be
go.
fine.
Yeah, see how you go. But it's very, very anxiety driven stuff, because one of the main guys is on the older spectrum of dealing with stuff, and there's a lot of memories that he's having. He's having a bit of PTSD of bits from COVID as well, and all that's coming into play, and he's not having the better time. And a lot of characters are very interesting. They've got everything that they're dealing with. It's a teaching hospital, so you got a lot of newers as well, and there's a guy who's from Nebraska, and it's like first time like in a big city in Pittsburgh, and the first couple of episodes is fun because he has to change his scrubs all the time because he's getting a lot of stuff sprayed on him. So that's been fun, and then throughout the series it just gets more and more dire, and yeah, I'm not having a good time. Like the last time we watched it, is someone had just a mental breakdown, and I had to have a bit of a relaxing meditation after that. It's like I need this. I need to meditate for this, because yeah, it's an interesting sort of dynamic that I have, because I sort of lived through COVID working in a hospital, so I've sort of seen and heard things, and yeah, I can relate. except for this bit at the end, because it's a very it's a unique story to America, which I'm glad that that I live in Australia. It's yeah. So if you do tend to watch it, it's really good, but a lot of triggers into it.
Okay.
Speaking of triggers, well, playing 4. I watched The Last of Us, season 2, episode 2. I'm all up to date, and I'm in a weird way. I was expecting him to probably do it in the first episode, just be that ballsy, like having that hang on the entire season. But they didn't. They left it for the second one, and I knew that the internet was going to go nuts for it, and I'm glad that they did. And I'm very happy that now Kendall doesn't know what's going to happen after this.
Well, about that.
Oh yeah, have you? Oh come on. Okay, fine. We'll get into it. But
It's all right. I'm still clueless.
yeah, I'm actually. I don't know. I'm in this weird situation where I know what's going to happen, and I know the story very well, but what happened. I didn't really have an emotional reaction to it because I for some reason my analytic brain just clicked in. It's like, oh, that's an interesting choice of how they did that. It's like, oh shit,
Right.
Joel died. What? God damn it! I took myself out of it. It's like, damn it, I was supposed to feel things, but with Ellie like crawling over, which is a new thing, and yeah, that sort of hurt me. And that song, Jesus Christ, that song.
I know. I can't believe they played this song.
They played the song, and also I knew who was singing from the first line.
Yeah, I didn't get it straight away, but then
Yeah, and I thought,
eventually it came to me, and I was like, oh, that's fucked.
That hurt
But
me.
great.
That really hurt. That I definitely had an emotional reaction from that. It's like, oh, that's it's beautiful. It's connected, and damn you, show.
Yep.
Yeah, and the story does continue. For much longer than I thought.
Yeah.
So fun times to be had. Oh dear.
Yay.
Yay. Nay. Oh nay. Yay. No, I can't really explain it. Otherwise, I thought it was going to, when I played the game, I thought it was going to stop there. And then it was just going to be open-ended. It's like, that makes sense. But someone makes a choice, and then a whole new section of the game just opened up. It's like, oh my God. I'm not in a weird way, I'm not enjoying this game. I'm not enjoying playing this game because I do not want it to continue because I'm very not this person, and this game is forcing me to do these things. No, thank you. It's a bit like the ending for the first one where you had to do what Joel was doing with the Fireflies in the hospital. You were forced to do that, and you couldn't get around killing the surgeon at the end.
Yeah.
Even shooting them in the leg, and you laughed at that because I've seen countless of people trying to do that, and no, he still died from his wounds. And it's like, you don't, it's not a good time. I don't know why I keep on doing this to myself, but it's a very interesting take that they're having with this show, of actually coming out of the gate of Abby. Freudian slip. It does make sense. That we get to know why she's doing this is because of she princess briding at the moment. It's like, you killed my father, prepared to die. That sort of thing is the revenge plot. but we don't get to know that until like later in the game, where where Ellie, it's still Ellie's like POV, and yeah, she's going after the crew, and then the bacon switch happens that we find out what happens, and it's going to be interesting how they're going to do this because I think they are trying to set up sort of a not really a redemption, just more of a softer approach when it comes to dealing with Abby, which I kind of like because with a TV show, there's going to be a lot of people saying, "No, I can't watch this anymore. No, no more. I can't. Not without Pedro. Not without my Pedro." And you can't really do that with a game because you've already bought it, and it's like it's like 10% of the game. It's like there's still more game. Where is this going to go? So it's good that they actually did that for the TV show because a lot of people will probably jump off at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Kendall, how about you?
I don't know if I should start with Last of Us or end with it like the three of you. Maybe I'll just end with it. I'll end with it. I'll build up to it. Yeah, I watched a few things this week. I finished Black Mirror, the new season. Watched the rest of it after the pod last week, and got to enjoy a couple of cool episodes where Paul Giamatti got an episode where he really got a chance to shine in like a, you know, he was the main character, and that was really cool. He was great, and then Peter Capaldi was in an episode that was really interesting, and he had like really messy long gray hair, and he was a bit weird, and but like not creepy, just kind of weird. So very different from anything I've seen him do before. So that was cool. And
Not
then I
yet.
saw not yet. Yeah. I haven't gotten up to his Doctor Who yet. I've seen more Peter Capaldi in other things than I have Doctor Who. It's weird. Yes. Anyway. And yeah, the last episode of the season was the sequel episode to the USS Callister from a couple of seasons ago. And that I was like, okay, we don't need to do a sequel to that episode because that episode is perfect on its own, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinions. It's one of the best Black Mirror episodes. But they freaking nailed the sequel episode. They nailed it, and it was almost as long. It was basically as long as a movie. Like it was like 85 minutes or something. And yeah, it was great. It was really, really great. So I was very happy. Because I was like, where are they going to take the story? And then they took it in a direction that made sense, and they were able to bring back everyone that was in the previous episode, and yeah, it was really good. What else can I say? Mike, I'd be curious to know if you've seen this movie, if you've heard of it, but I watched a film this week called Used Cars. This is a Robert Zemeckis, Bob Gale co-written film, directed by Robert Zemeckis, starring Kurt Russell, and it's about these two used car dealerships that are across the road from each other, and the kind of they're both owned by these two brothers, and then something happens to one of the brothers, and it's sort of a Weekend at Bernie's situation where the other brother is trying to buy out the other dealership so he can have a monopoly on the neighborhood, and but then Kurt Russell and his gang are trying to do everything they can to keep their business going, and it was really funny. Like as a comedy, it was really funny. There was a lot of really funny parts. It was very 80s, and you know, just a good time. But then it was too long in the end, and just kind of went off a bit of the rails towards the end. It didn't need to. There was a lot of extended car scenes that just didn't need to happen, and it was, yeah. So it kind of went off the rails towards the end, but it was cool to see, you know, what Bob and Bob did before Back to the Future. you know. So, and Kurt Russell, young Kurt Russell. This is before The Thing, Kurt Russell. So he's like in his post Disney, pre-adult sort of. Well, he's just beginning his adult career in film at this point. So he was really good in it. But yeah, you can just see he's on the cusp of, you know, becoming an icon. So yeah, that was fun. I'm guessing you, by your reaction, Mike, you don't know about that movie. Yeah,
I thought
there
it
you
was
go.
one movie, but it was a different film.
Yeah.
It's called The Drive-Through.
Okay.
Drive-In, where
Drive in.
where all these teenagers are jailed in an old drive-through. It's sort of a completely different movie, and I think it's Australian too. So never mind.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. No worries. Okay, and then before I get into The Thing, we've all watched. I went to the movies this week, finally, for the first time in a while, and I watched Sinners.
Yay!
Yay!
I've
Yay!
been meaning to. So much, my most anticipated film this month.
Yeah. 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 So I only saw it last night, so I'm still kind of processing it. But from where I stand, it is a very good movie. It's really well made and put together, and the story is really good, and the performances are amazing, and it looks great, and you know, it ticks all the boxes really. I just for me, because I don't know if you got, Mike, I'm sure you're aware. I don't know if Foley is aware, but this movie is getting the hype meter is through the bloody stratosphere on this film. Because it's been doing well at box office because, you know, everyone's like, oh my god, it's an original idea, and uh, you know, and people are going to watch an original idea, and it's making millions and millions and millions. Which is great, and I support that, and I love that. Um, but for me, I will say yes, it was very good movie objectively. But I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just didn't. It just didn't pull me in the way that I wanted it to. Like it did some really cool things that by the end I was like, okay, that's fucking clever. That's smart. Haven't really seen that take sort of done before. Um, but yeah, I, as a you know a proud and avid lover of vampire literature and vampire lore in film and TV, you know, naturally I was going to watch this. And yeah, I mean, the vampires in it are really cool. But yeah, I don't know. It's for me, it was just not. It wasn't for me. I don't think. I don't know. But it's still really good. Like it's a very good movie. Definitely going to cause a buzz come awards season. I think probably not acting wise. Maybe a couple of performances in there could get some acting nominations. But I feel like production wise, like Ryan Coogler directed this, so you know, director of Black Panther 1 and 2. Ludwig Göransson did the score for this, and you know, he's won an Oscar for his work on Black Panther as well. So there's a lot of the Black Panther crew on this. Of course, Michael B. Jordan's here. So
And
yeah,
Michael
it's
C. Jordan.
and Michael C. Jordan. Yes,
Sorry, I saw
'cause
that
there's
joke
two of them.
from Planet Hollywood. Anyway,
That was good. That was good. Yeah. So it's Mike. Yeah, I think you'll definitely enjoy it. And I look forward to your thoughts. It's worth. I mean, it's worth going to watch at the cinema if you can't wait to see it on streaming. But I would have happily stayed at home and watched it and still had the same experience. I don't think, which is interesting because it was filmed for IMAX. Um, but they do it's got a weird aspect ratio on it. You'll see when you watch it. Um, but anyway, but it was, yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I had a good time. Cool. All right. The Last of Us. Ah,
yay!
God damn it. So what I was alluding to before, is that because one of the things I've been waiting for is I want to watch reaction videos, like how, you know, back in the day everyone had reactions to the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones, you know, And I remember watching compilations of reactions for to the Red Wedding and just loving it. And then two bad things about trying to find reaction videos. There weren't as many online as I could find in my immediate YouTube search. And the ones I did find, a couple were good. And then as soon as I started watching one, I started crying again, and I was like, why have I done this to myself? I'm just watching the scene again, and it's just making me sad, you know? Which was funny. And then the other thing was, in my scrolling through YouTube, I think I may have had a spoiler happen. So I'm not going to say what it is, Fulya. I don't want to ruin it for you. Just in case it was what I thought it was, I'm just going to keep it to myself. And it is what it is. If I fucked up, then I fucked up. That's on me. I managed to not ever have Joel's death spoiled for me until I watched the playthrough of the game a couple years back. So, because after season 1, I'm like, people were telling me there's something big coming, and I'm like, great, let's just watch the game play, and I will have it happen to me then, because otherwise it'll get spoiled. And I got away with that. But anyway, yeah. Mike, I kind of have the same approach as you to that scene. That not so analytical, but enough to the point where I didn't get as emotional as I thought I was going to. Like, I was sitting there on the couch crying the whole time and waiting for it. Like, the anticipation was nuts. But because I knew what was happening and I knew how it happened. When the actual moment came, I was like, oh, okay. They didn't go as brutal as they did in the video game. Perhaps that's a good thing, in hindsight. But I think for me, watching the scene, what makes it devastating, having this interpretation of the moment, I think, is Bella Ramsey's performance as Ellie in this moment. Like, what broke me was just that desperate begging. She sees what Abby's gonna do. She sees her pick up what's left of the golf club, and the way her voice just turns into this squeal of like, please no, please no, please no, like, just desperate. And I was just like, fuck, man. Like, that's raw, unfiltered human emotion and grief. Like, she couldn't do anything to stop it. All she had was her voice, and her voice couldn't save him. And yeah. So I really am hoping that Bella gets the same kind of treatment that Pedro did a couple years back. Last year, I suppose it was, during the awards season. I hope she gets all the awards for this, because god damn it, she was great. Yeah, so it was a fantastic episode. I think yeah, I think people I think the internet fucking loved it. I think people who hadn't seen the game footage or played the game, I think they loved it. You know, I saw some articles calling it one of the best TV episodes ever. You know, it's got super high ratings everywhere, and that's great. But yeah, I thought it was really good, and the stuff that they did with Jackson, with the insane amount of infected that kind of onslaughted the town, that was intense. But yeah, it was really good. It was a really good episode, and I'm sad we're not gonna have as much Pedro as we once did in the show, but there's gonna be flashbacks. I'm pretty sure that's a guarantee, because there's footage in the trailers that we haven't seen
thanks,
yet.
Trailers.
Yeah, thanks, trailers. Spoiling.
But mind
everything.
you, it was a good surprise in the game. It's like continue on, and then the first flashback happening is like, oh, Ellie's a bit younger here, and then Joel was there, and it's just a sigh of relief. It's like, oh, you're here, come back, please.
Come back.
And I think
yes.
And I think they'll probably do something similar. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't really, apart from the one thing I may have spoiled for myself, I don't really know too much about what's going to happen now. Obviously Ellie's going to go after Abby and her crew. however that ends up, we'll see. But yeah, it's next week. Like seeing that little trailer for episode 3 and like her waking up and just screaming, and I'm just like, oh man, it's gonna be emotional. I'm wondering how many reaction shots we're gonna get of like people reacting to, or are we gonna get to see a funeral of some kind, or I don't know. It's just anyway. It is what it is, isn't it? But it's good television, so
Yeah.
can't really complain too much.
I've got one more thing to add.
Please, and then I just remembered one more thing I need to say, but go on.
Yeah. How can I put this? I've been alluding the fact that in season 1 there was a cameo in it that no one really picks up unless you watch the like special features and that. I think it's very interesting that in the scene with the surgeon and the nurses as well, one of the nurses was played by Laura Bailey, who was Abby who does the mocap and the voice in Abby, and it's quite interesting that they let drop the Abby is the surgeon's father, so that would mean in that scene, contextually, Abby saw her father die from the hands of Joel, and I thought that's beautiful in a weird, twist up, fucked up way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That is very true.
Critical Role, man. I do blame Critical Role for letting me know what Ashley Johnson's voice sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we finish, because we're going on way too long. Finally, I thought this was an interesting take. So I've been watching. I probably mentioned this maybe, but I've been watching it with my boyfriend who didn't see season 1 come out in real time. He watched it with me in the lead up to season 2, and now we're watching it to season 2 in real time together. He doesn't like Ellie. He thinks she's annoying. And which is, I mean, to a degree, that's maybe a sign of, Bella Ramsey's good acting, because she is a bit annoying in some scenes in season 1, but I'm like, no, I just love her, so I don't care. But the big thing that I loved was he thinks Joel deserved to die. He was happy Joel died. Partly because he didn't connect himself to the character. That he thinks that they didn't do a good enough job of establishing connection, which that's his take. That's fine. I'm not going to judge it, but I love the fact that he's like, good, he deserved it. And I'm like, she's also not great either. Like, he fully admitted, like, everyone in this situation is fucked. But, like, he was like, Joel was a selfish prick, basically. He used a worse word than prick, but I'm not going to repeat that. But he was like, what Joel did prevented the human race from having a cure, so he deserved to die.
Allegedly.
And that's allegedly. We don't know, but likely. And I'm not mad at the take. I'm kind of admiring the boldness of the take, because he's in the minority for sure. But yeah, what Joel, it's like you were saying before, Fulya, like, Joel's so complicated. This story is so complicated because these very human characters are just reacting to their events and to their circumstances and their grief. And, and I said to my partner, I'm like, Joel only did what he did because of him losing Sarah the way he did, right? So if that had been anyone else with any other story behind it, then who knows? Well, Ellie probably would have died at the end of season 1, right? She would have given herself over to science to hopefully save humanity. But because it was Joel and because of what he went through, and now he's like, I've got my daughter back. So I tried to explain that to him, and he understands that, but he's also like, yeah, nah.
Can I sort of add to that?
Please.
I think this whole thing is about the human race being terrible.
Absolutely.
And the cordyceps are the good guys. Because they work together,
Yeah.
they can... Because basically their main goal is to survive. And
Yes.
same as humans, but they don't work together very well. There's always a thing where they try to outdo each other. And simply as Joel loves Ellie, but love can be a bad thing as well. It can lead to terrible things. And that's what sort of the second season, second game is. It's consequences of your actions, and you can't really run away from them. And I have an inkling, I have a theory, but I won't talk about it too much because I think it's true. There's a character that we're going to learn more about, Eugene. Eugene? Yeah, Eugene. Where they're sort of setting up some stuff. And I think they're going to do something to make the audience think maybe Joel wasn't all that great. Maybe everything he's doing is very selfish. Like you saw it in, I think it's in the second episode where he's talking about like shutting off everyone from Jackson, like, and also teaching his nephew is like, everyone in here is good and safe. Everyone out there are monsters. We need to stay in here. A bit of the xenophobic going out there, you know. Like, Joel's not all that great. We only like him because it's Pedro Pascal and he's awesome. And I do applaud him for wearing a T-shirt that says "Protect all dolls." Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're trying to figure out like these very complicated feelings of, sure, they're a good person and they mean well, but what is at stake is the basic survival of the human race. So I don't I do teeter along which side is good and which side is bad, but it's sort of a grey area, really. It's too complicated to say, okay, we're setting ourselves up for this, but we're setting ourselves up for failure. And that's what this show is all about. And we're just along for the ride. It's consequences. And here comes the consequences. And it's kind of funny that Eugene, the character of Eugene, is married to the Joel's therapist, and that's going to be complicated as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Lots of interesting things to come.
Yeah, he died and she's home alone.
And she was married to Eugene
Levy. What?
Yeah. All the streams are crossing.
Yes.
Catherine O'Hara, amazing.
She's great.
Okay. She was great. We didn't really talk about her last week because obviously Fulya hadn't seen it yet last week. But yeah, awesome.
Something about comedic actors know how to do drama.
Yeah,
I love
always.
It.
Yeah, it's great. It's
That's
fantastic.
why Barry is so great as well. I do recommend Barry.
With, I need to.
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader. I really need to watch that. Need to add that to my max list of watchings. All right. That's enough of that, I think. Or otherwise, we'll never get to the other awesome shows that we've watched this week. So we're skipping over the news. No news.
No news.
Really?
No news is good news. A new Oblivion is out, and I've been seeing a lot of good stuff from that.
Everybody's playing Oblivion, but then the other news being everybody in the North Americas had a hard time trying to pre-order a Switch 2.
Yeah.
That was
Good.
a kerfuffle and a half.
Good.
Yeah, that
Fuck 'em.
sounded-
And I was there sitting there witnessing their sadness of how many pages they've had to wait and had to refresh and try to get through, but it didn't go through, and having their orders cancelled, and oh my gosh.
God. That's too much.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Have you pre-ordered Fulya?
I'm not day one on the Switch 2. It's too expensive right now for me, and there's no game that's really pulling me in to get the console. So I'm gonna wait.
Ah, should have like screen grabbed an invoice and it's like, oh, look at here. Oh, so I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I pre-ordered.
Totally, bro.
This
You
is
know, here in Australia, it is so easy to just pre-order right now. It's been available to pre-order since the switch to direct happened here in
Yeah.
Australia. But in
Yeah.
America, they had to wait until not too long ago, so like this past week. That's when they were able to pre-order. Whereas for us, I could just go online to either JB Hi-Fi or EB Games and pre-order whatever the Mario Kart bundle or just the console itself with whatever accessories or whatever other games I want, and I'd be fine.
oh. This is what you get when you put tariffs on every other country.
I feel bad for Canada because they're kind of like caught on the tail end of it. They have to go along with it as well.
Well, they are America's hat.
Yeah.
America's hat. That's fantastic.
Yeah. But that's pretty much the extent of the gaming news that you're going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Surprise gaming news. Cool. Thank you. It's trailer park time. Let's roll on up.
I thought I had a job to do.
Haha.
Rolling up to the trailer park where we all park all the trailers.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yes, trailer park time. Let's hit it with the big trailer of the week. Would have to be our first look at Wednesday, season 2. This is going to be massive for Netflix when this comes out. Season 1 was a huge success for them. We all watched it, if I'm not mistaken. Fulya, did you watch it? You didn't watch it. You should watch it. You should. You'd like it
If you watch Sabrina, it's almost similar.
You know what? I haven't finished Sabrina.
This
well,
is
Sabrina
better.
got cancelled, so
Yeah, Sabrina got
I
cancelled.
know.
This one didn't.
no, I think you might enjoy it, but
Yeah.
but no obligation. Mike and I watched this, and we both enjoyed it quite a bit. So looking forward to season 2. They, just showing little bits and pieces here. Of Wednesday. It's nice to see Jenna Ortega back in this role. They kind of blew her into the stratosphere. Yeah, she's just great. I think, yeah, I don't want to take anything away from Christina Ricci, but like Jenna Ortega is like, as Wednesday is now really just solidifying for me. She's just brilliant. So yeah, so that's cool. I'm looking forward to watching more of her. I'm looking forward to, just returning to Nevermore Academy, and they're back at school, and things are going to be interesting this year, and stuff going more. Probably it looks like more of the family is going to be involved this time around. Potentially Uncle Fester's back, Fred Armisen. I hope he gets a bit more than just one. I think he just one episode he had last time, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
one, and then he comes back at the end, I think. Something like that.
Something like that. But yeah, regardless, yeah, it looks great. I am also just keen to see Lady Gaga in this because she's going to be in an episode. Thankfully they didn't put her in the trailer, so we have no idea what context she's showing up in. But yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. It looks like they haven't skipped a beat. Even though it's been like 2-3 years since the first season. So, but yeah, I can't wait. It's good. It's a good tease. Michael, what did you think?
What about me? It's all good.
Oh, I should have asked Fulya because but I just
Did you
went.
watch it?
I watched the trailer, but I've got no idea what's happening because I haven't seen season 1.
That's right. Do you know of the Addams Family?
I know the Addams Family.
Diddle-do.
Yeah, I know that. I've watched the cartoons. I've watched the family-friendly movies. This show doesn't really grab my attention. It's a bit too too thrillery for me.
Yeah, well, it's more of a, what do you call it? It's a oh, what do you call it? It's a mystery. So, you know, you like your mysteries.
Yeah.
With a little
I don't know
twist
how.
of supernatural.
I
Not the TV show, I meant the actual genre.
I know.
Fucking lazy writing, just calling your show supernatural. Anyway.
Hey, come on now. No need to be judgy.
Oh, I'm in this really cool show. It's called Medical Procedural.
Wow. Shots fired. Mm.
Anyway. Oh, back to
Anyway.
me, sorry. Where's this coming at? Anyway. Yeah, I'm really interested in this coming back because I really enjoyed the first one. And I'm really looking forward to all the people in it, including Lady Gaga, but you also got Joanna Lumley, who's, I think, playing Granny as well, which is going to be awesome. And, of course, Christopher Lloyd's going to be in it somewhere. Don't know where. But we do see... what's his face? Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi.
He's going to be the new principal of the Evermore Academy. So that's going to be cool. And yeah, General Ortega is like awesome. The first time I saw him, really know her from this, and ever since that, my algorithm is like, oh, do you like General Ortega? Do you? Here's she in a glamour shot. She's looking very beautiful. It's like, no, I only see her as a kid. Please don't do that to me, please. No. Don't do a fucking. I was going to say Billy Bob Thornton, but that's not right. Millie Bobby Brown. Don't do that, please. I know she's in her 20s and she's married. I don't know. I only know her as 11. I'm at that age now that I don't want to see these kids sexualized, please. No, thank you. But this is coming out, and I'm a little bit disappointed that it's going to be in 2 parts. So when is the first part coming out, Kendall?
Yes, well, the first part of Wednesday season 2 will be dropping on Netflix on the 6th of August, and then part 3 comes roughly a month later on the 3rd of September.
Nice, but stop doing this model, please.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like it at all.
I don't understand it.
They should go back to the weekly. I mean, there's a lot more people, a lot more shows doing week by week where it should be. And then it's more lasting power instead of just dumping.
Yeah.
Just dumps. Just Netflix dumps.
Just dumps. Or do what Amazon does and drop 3 episodes and then the rest week to week.
Yeah. For your tease. For tease. It's like, oh, this is a new show. Have a look at a 3. It was like, oh, this is pretty good. It's a good self-contained story. All good.
It's smart. All right. Next trailer. This is another teaser for the upcoming Predator Badlands movie. Directed by the same guy that made the very, very good movie on Disney Plus called Prey, which was sort of a Predator prequel, if you want to call it that. It's kind of it's
not really a prequel. It's just set. It's the Predator concept, but in a different timeline.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yes. It's Some may call it a prequel. Some may call it just it's a Predator movie set in set in a time way earlier than what we've seen before. No connections, of course, to anything else. This, however, is completely different. They've gone the other direction. It's either set in the future or it's just set in the Predator homeworld or something, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not really sure what's going on in this. I can't tell who the good guys are or the bad guys are, which is kind of interesting. But it looks cool. It looks really good. The cinematography in this trailer alone looked really cool. Yeah, and Elle Fanning is great. I like her, so be cool to see what kind of character she plays in this. But yeah, and then the makeup work, the prosthetic work they've done here with the predator creatures themselves looks pretty impressive. So yeah, there's not a lot to say from this tease, but it's a good tease. It definitely gets the hype going. So yeah, I'll probably be checking this out, especially if it's by Dan Trachtenberg, who did Prey. I think yeah. After that movie success, I think they were just like, here you go. You can have the IP. It's yours now.
Deal with it as you will.
Deal with it as you will, exactly. Mike.
Yo.
I'm legitimately skipping to you now. Not accidentally. What did you think of Predator Badlands?
I kind of like the concept because word is it's going to be the hunter is now the hunted, so and it's also going to be like a young Spartan story, like
right.
this young up and coming predator being chucked into the scenario of survival of the fittest, survival or die, and that's the thing, and the main character is going to be a predator, except and not just other people like up against the foe, the predator, which is going to be a very interesting uphill take because predators are ugly motherfuckers, as the quote says by Arnie, and trying and they with the makeup it's not like any other predators because they're trying to make it more feasible to actually enjoy looking at these creatures, and especially if you're going to be following the footsteps of this predator. I don't know I can't remember what the actual creature's name, but it's predator, like the alien, not xenomorph.
Yeah.
And having a human as well, being a surrogate navi, a navigator, because predators don't speak English, so they need some sort of leeway for us the viewers to actually latch on and being sympathetic towards this ugly motherfucker. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm quite intrigued, and and I really enjoyed Prey, and I like the fact that they've decided to, ever since Disney bought Fox, they now have all this new IP to play with, and I kind of like the fact that it's like, hey, anyone got an idea? And someone says, yeah, I got an idea. Let's do this. And they're not sure if we should put a theater release. We'll just chuck it up on Disney Plus, see how it goes. And it went gangbusters. So, and I'm happy that they found some new blood with original IP. I mean, I do complain that every time they always stick to IP. Do something, not do something original, do something that's familiar, but. I like the fact that they're finding new avenues and new ways instead of doing the same old. It's like, you like this crap, put it in the pig trough. I love it. I want the same thing over and over again instead of watching the same thing over and over again. Yeah, Force Awakens sort of did that. Wake up to the fact that it's the same movie, and a lot of people told me it's like, we don't care, it's the same slop, we like it. And then last Jedi came out. It's like, I really like this because I'm really interested in the journey that they're going. Nah, don't like it. It's too different. They don't like it. No, don't mess. That's not what the fans want. I'm a fan and I want this. Well, you're not a true fan. I like it. So when is this coming out?
The Badlands will be in cinemas later this year on the 6th of November.
I like being sick because my brain just goes. I'm scattershot.
All right, one more trailer to talk about, and this is the upcoming Netflix miniseries called Seires. I'm gonna watch this. I think I'm really curious. I kind of like these sort of almost dystopian vibed things where it's like Stepford Wives, something sinister's going on. Everything looks great and peachy keen, and then it's actually like just awful underneath it somehow. So that's kind of interesting that they're that kind of angle. And Julianne Moore being sort of like the antagonist, the villain of the piece. I think that's kind of cool. She doesn't play bad guys very often. So it'd be
Carrie.
cool to see what. Huh? Well, apart from Carrie, often. I said often.
Shut the fuck up, Michael. It's often.
She was good in the Carrie remake. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked her in that. Yeah. Yes, Kevin Bacon's here. And that's great. We like some bacon. But I'm excited.
Bacon.
I'm excited because Australian actress Millie Alcock is in this. She is, of course, in House of the Dragon, and she's about to be Supergirl. So, and here she is in this interesting kind of black comedy weird series on Netflix. I'm here for it. I want to know the mystery. I want to see some cool performances that looks like we're going to get. So I think I'll be checking it out. It was a long trailer. They probably didn't need to, but I suppose cuz it's a mini series, they've clearly got a few hours that they want to advertise, so maybe that makes sense for it to be long and to show a lot of stuff, but I don't think it really gave that much away. To be honest, maybe one or two things, but on the whole, I thought it was all right. So, yeah, Fulya, what did you think of this trailer? Do you reckon you might be adding this to your watch list when it comes out?
Probably not. Looks creepy as fuck. Kind of weirded me out because I'm like, what the hell's going on? And like my reactions as I was watching this trailer play through, and I'm like, just the strangest of things from this particular household where Julianne Moore's character is like this goddess or something, or
Siren.
yeah. And I'm like, it just grossed me out, especially with the whole gum exchange. And I'm like, ew, excuse me. That is gross.
We've all lived through COVID. Don't do that shit.
Ugh. So I don't know. It made me feel uncomfortable. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That's all I'm gonna say.
That's fine. That is fine. I failed you in Trailer Park this week. I failed you miserably, but that's okay. That's okay. Mike, what did you think of this trailer?
I don't like it. Although, what is this? And unfortunately, I was watching it when I'm like this, not firing on all cylinders. I was like, what's this piece of shit? And who's this guy? Oh, I know that guy. That's Ethan Hawke. Who else? But it does have the sort of midsummer thing where all is not what it seems. It seems like maybe they are touching on sort of the Greek mythos of the sirens and how you can't really trust women. I don't know. It sort of doesn't rub me up the right way. Or even feel interested in watching this. So I'm sorry, you probably don't get me as well, Kendall.
That's okay. That's okay. It's
even with the smell of bacon. I'm sorry, it's not me.
It's good to have differing opinions.
It is. Even though you're wrong, and but I'm not wrong about this. When is it coming out, Kendall?
Yes, the release date for Sirens, which is important to me. it will be dropping on Netflix on the 22nd of May.
It's me.
It's
my
me!
own, damn it.
No, I don't care. It's fine. Cool. That's Trailer Park, which means it's now time for what I've called a not so quickie review, because we are now about to talk the shit out of Andor season 2.
Considering we've got 3 episodes to talk about.
Oh yes, not so quickie review. Yeah, I'm excited to get into this with you guys. This is gonna be great. Yeah.
Quickie review.
Yeah,
that one.
thanks, Mike.
I forgot to team that up because we don't normally do it.
No,
Anyway.
that's fair. That's fair. It's been a while since we've sort of done a quickie review.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yes, Andor is here. Finally, Andor is here. Season 2. We've been looking forward to this show for a long, long time now, and like everyone else, 3. It's been 2.5, 3 years. Yes, exactly. Yeah. My overall thoughts, I really liked it. I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. There were some bits I didn't like, and I kind of want to do a sort of like a mini version of popcorn culture that may go into a big version of popcorn culture. Who knows?
Let's try to keep it mini.
But we'll try to keep it small. But we'll just do a quick fire overall thoughts, and I was glad to be back with this group of characters and what's going on here. What about you, Fulya?
Yeah, no, I am so happy to be back into this world and just to see the characters all over again. A little bit of uncomfortable moments, I will say, throughout all like the 3 episodes, and we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, no, overall, I'm just happy that it's returned. Yay!
Nice, Mike. Your quick overall thoughts?
Yeah, I'm happy that it's back, and it's good comfort food, considering the subject matter in it, because everything's going to be leading towards the absolute demise. And I actually had a thought that I was hoping to actually do like a rewatch of the first Andor, but I didn't really get around to it. But after watching these 3 episodes, it made me want to watch Rogue One, just so I can actually see where things are going. I want to read the last chapter of the book before this happens, so I can actually see. Oh, that makes sense. So this is where the key is. And
so I ended up watching. So Star Wars did a little, I think it was like 15-minute recap on their YouTube channel.
I watched
that one too.
Yeah, I ended up watching that. Yeah,
that was
that's
great.
on Disney Plus as well.
Yeah,
that
was it? Because I didn't see it there.
The recap was on Disney Plus. That's where I watched it.
Yeah,
I couldn't find it on Disney Plus. That's why I watched it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
You're not looking hard enough.
Apparently.
Sorry, I'm a bit sassy tonight. Sorry. I'm upset that I'm sick. It's the sickness. Down with the sickness. Get up and then down. Anyway, yeah, I'm really enjoying where the characters are at this time. It's 1 year from the previous show, and word is that there's going to be another time jump after these 3, and continuing on.
They're going to do that for each chapter,
which is good because because if it was a continued story, it's like, where would this go after that? But I enjoy the fact that these are sort of standalone 3 episodes of a snapshot of the time. So where does this go from here is more to do with what's going to happen, which I'm actually really enjoying the fact that we know what's going to happen. It's just how we get there. It's not the destination, it's the journey, and that's what the prequels are. So this is the prequels. Well, this is more of the in between. So this is more of the original trilogy, and everything in Star Wars is threes. Except, yeah. So that's my roundabout way of saying I'm glad it's back, and it's good. And I'm glad that they're tackling more adult themes, considering what we're used to with Star Wars. So it's not your kiddie Star Wars. It's what does happen with an occupying force and real world consequences. So yeah. And for the people who says I don't want politics in Star Wars, well, one of the words is war. You can't get away. You can't get away from that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want political embargoes, and that's what's wrong with the Phantom Menace. It's all political. It's like, well, yeah, it's got to lead somewhere. It's when I can go on, but I'm not going to. So stop me.
Okay. Yes, I'm going to jump in now. I'm going to jump in, stop that train. So, okay, so all the characters in the show are connected to each other. But the way they kind of approached these 3 episodes, this first chapter kind of felt like it was like 4 distinct storylines happening. You have, in no particular order, you've got, Cassian and his mission going awry. You've got Bix and Brasso on this farming planet hiding out. You've got Cyril and Dedra and what's happening with the Empire. And then you've got Mon Mothma and Luthen, and then the other supporting characters in that storyline. So I want to start by talking about Cyril and Dedra because they're a couple, I guess. It's been a year and they're in a relationship now.
Cyril found her in a moment of vulnerability and took the opportunity.
Yeah.
He saved her life.
Yep. It was a Florence Nightingale moment. I guess. Yeah, so that's crazy. But cool. I just need to say that I loved having the mum over for dinner or whatever.
Oh man.
That scene was so good. It was one of my favorite moments from the 3 episodes. Just because and I love my mum. I must preface by saying I love my mum, but my mum has elements of this woman in her.
Oh,
so
boy.
not to the extent,
of course.
But a little bit. So I can relate a little bit to this interaction, and then Cyril just going, just excusing himself, and then I love the camera cutting to him, and he's just flat on his bed.
Having
a moment. But what really won this scene for me was Dedra standing up for him, standing up to his mum and
putting her in her place,
telling her where to fucking shove it. And that was so nice. That was so good, but it was also a little creepy because when Cyril comes back in and then you just see the way that his mum's demeanor has changed and you're like, oh boy. Yeah, that was fantastic. I thought that was really, really good. And then the other thing from this storyline, I suppose, is the, episode 1, Ben Mendelsohn, Orson Krennic is here. Mendo's here. Very happy. Wasn't expecting to see him right off the bat. So that's really cool. And then just to set up for us what the Empire is doing. Obviously, they're still building the Death Star. And they need calcite to aid them in their mission. And what better way to do that than to take over a planet?
And how shall we do that?
Exactly.
Say there's weapons of mass destruction. Say that these people are barbarians.
Totally fine, guys.
Consequences.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Propaganda is fun. Yeah, I'm really fascinated by this because at first I was like, what are we like when they played that promotional video for the planet? And I was like, what is happening right now? Is this Star Wars? But then as it went on, I was like, oh, oh, that's right, they're Nazis.
You're getting that
realization.
now?
Yeah, I know. No. I'm well aware. I'm well aware. I was just like, yeah.
What's this? The David Williams? David Williams? I can't remember, but the British sketch show of these two SS soldiers and they're turning to each other. It's like, are we the baddies?
Yeah. Oh boy. But yeah, that was really interesting, and I'm actually really curious to see where it's going, and I'm kind of fascinated with Dedra's struggle, I suppose she's now having of like, I just want to go back to the Axis stuff, focus on that, focus on Cassian and all this. But she's being told, from Krennic, who has come down from the Emperor, being like, you're working on this. We want you for this job. And she doesn't want to do it. So yeah, she was a really fascinating character in the first season, so was Cyril. So I'm very curious about where they're gonna go. Fulya, what did you think of this storyline across the episodes?
Well, first of all, I was when it revealed that those two were kind of like together. I was like, oh, okay.
Right then.
Okay then. Cool. But we all know who wears the pants in that relationship.
Yeah.
Who wears
We
the jack
sure
boots?
do.
Yeah.
Who's got the riding crop?
We also find out that Cyril has gotten himself a promotion from his job as well, which is kind of cool because the first time we get this to see him, he's introducing someone else to the role that he originally started off in.
Yeah. Littler Cyril.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was actually that was a really cool scene to sort of like revisit, I guess, in a sense. And yeah, like those two together, like they both have the Empire at the forefront of their minds, and they're both all about order and getting shit done and making sure that it's done appropriately and all that sort of stuff. But they've got things in their way stopping them, meaning higher ups are stopping them from doing what they want to do. Dedra has been kind of demoted in a way from her role that she was doing to now doing something else. So now she kind of has no choice but to live with it and just go through the motions in a way. So she'll just have to build herself back up to it, I guess. We'll eventually find out in the next couple of chapters. And yeah, it was just fascinating to see Cyril and Dedra's like dynamic together, like the way that they talk with each other. And yeah, the whole scene with Cyril's mum was just uncomfortable, but also just made me fist pump the air. And I'm like, thank you. Shut that lady up. Because she talks so much. And the actor that's actually portraying that mom is doing such a great job of people hating the character.
Yeah. She's nailing it.
Yeah, she's doing a very good job. Because I would not want to meet a person like that ever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, these two together they've got their challenges, but I feel like together they might be able to do something with the information that they have. And the fact that I think Dedra's also kind of holding Cyril close because of the information that he knows as well. So I think, and that's where they have become a lot closer in that sense, because Dedra wants more information. Cyril's got it, and they have that to connect with each other. That's their commonality. So yeah, it's an interesting sort of like, it's an interesting relationship to watch play out. So I want to see how that kind of goes throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Thank you, Fulya. Mike, what did you think about Cyril and Dedra?
It's an interesting dynamic, and where it goes, I do not know. But the sort of things that they're setting up, it does feel like they've got more to the entire story than their love life, and how she's interconnected with what the Empire is doing, and that's where we're going from there. So, and they're sort of a weird, fun couple. I mean, they're the sort of couple that's like, why are you together? And we sort of know why, but all in all, you love who you love, and essentially, it's kind of like if we're going by Rick and Morty standards, it's the Beth and Jerry sort of dynamic. We got a wet lettuce, and we got an all out boss lady. So you love who you love, and yeah, with the dynamic with the mother, I'm not saying too much, but I have witnessed it and also been a part of that sort of dynamic. So I'll leave it at there. And yeah, fist pumps all around. Yeah, it's definitely a highlight with these three, and just a bit of fun. And I love Ben Mendelsohn coming back, doing Krennic again. Haven't seen him, haven't heard him since The Bad Batch, which is interconnected. I love it. And yeah, another good reason to watch Rogue One again, which I'll probably do this week. I'm just going to bite the bullet and just watch it. Because just watch it before we get Alan Tudyk back doing KCSO.
I can't wait to see K2 again. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. All right. Let's talk about Mon Mothma and Luthen.
Mon.
Yes.
This is probably my favorite of the storylines across the 3 episodes. And I keep seeing, a lot of people online kind of just, I mean, there was this talk started in season 1, but it's just growing now. It's like people just saying how Mon Mothma has just become, she went from being like a one-note, barely supporting character in the movies to now we're fleshing her out. We're giving her backstory. We're going into how she, ends up leading the rebellion essentially, and how it all unraveled for her. And I just love this. I could have watched this storyline with the wedding and everything as just one episode. If they just done it as one episode, I would have been happy. Obviously, they're not doing it like that, but that's fine. But no, I love how it just every time we cut back to Mon Mothma, everything was just getting worse. It was all just getting worse. Like, the relationship with her daughter is terrible. Like, but her daughter's such a brat. I don't like her. How she was like, I wish you were drunk. And I was like, fuck you. Your mum's trying to be sincere.
Their honeymoon is going to be on Alderaan.
God. That was the other thing. I kind of liked the going into the culture of their people, and seeing a sort of a Star Wars wedding in a non-traditional human sense.
I was really enjoying that too.
That was really cool. But then I also really kind of liked how, like, especially because you're in Mon Mothma's POV with this whole thing, really. but like just the fact that these people are so oblivious to the perils of the Empire's control of the galaxy and the people who are fighting back. And I mean, obviously, because these people are, they're in submission by the Empire, right? They don't care. They're like, we've got our money, we've got our fancy, swanky, weird mansions. We're fine. But I just kind of liked that sort of 1% sort of view of these rich bastards getting to just have these lavish ceremonies and things and all of this stuff.
What was
And
it, like 3-4 days of
yeah, it was this
celebrating?
huge thing.
Yeah.
All these speeches and dinners and gorgeous costumes. BT
Oh, yeah.
dubs.
Holy crap.
Everything Mon Mothma was wearing, I was like, I'll have that. Thank you very much.
I want her wardrobe.
I like the asymmetry of her outfits. Like it was just gorgeous. Anyway, but what I was going to say, I really liked how every time the rich people in the room applauded, they would clink their rings against their glasses.
Yeah.
And that really stuck with me. it's like ooh.
Is that what you're gonna do from now on when you go to parties?
Oh Jesus, no.
Please don't.
Unless I become rich suddenly, and I'll be like, yes, look at me and my wealth, yes. Anyway.
Also, yes.
But yes, obviously the story descends from Mon Mothma because things don't end up so good for her dear old friend Tay Colmer. The implication, I didn't actually pick it up, but the implication is that he's been taken away to be executed.
He knows too
so
much.
yeah,
Loose lips sink ships.
Loose lips, yeah, exactly. So that was pretty harrowing to see that unfold. And then but then just Mon Mothma having to deal with everything, and then I'm really glad she had a moment at the end to just let go and just be like, okay, well, this is where I am. Everything could blow up at any second, but I'm gonna get drunk and dance to the best Star Wars music I've ever heard.
Oh. So good. What a banger.
It's still in my head. I know I said that yesterday.
Listening to it all day today.
Oh, I need to find it.
Star Wars brought out a 1-hour version of Mon Mothma dancing.
There's a 1-hour version
on the Star Wars channel.
On YouTube?
I sent the link to you.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah, I think.
I thought it was spam.
No, I saw you share it, but I didn't realize it was an hour stream. Oh my goodness.
No, sorry, I sent you something completely different. But yeah, no, on the Star Wars YouTube channel, they posted a video of a 1-hour version of Mon Mothma dancing to that track, and it's the best.
I'm gonna listen to that
on repeat
on the way to work tomorrow. I've been trying to find it on Spotify somehow to listen to it.
Nah, it's not on Spotify for whatever reason. The season 1 version that they had of Neomos, the name of the track is Neomos, and so they have the season 1 version, because this is the one that we hear in this episode in season 2 is actually a remix version of that.
Yeah, okay.
Track.
Yeah.
So they haven't posted that up yet. Like,
they need
onto
to.
like a start. I think they probably won't do it until the end of the season.
End of the show, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I know.
Oh wait. Yeah. But anyway, it was great. It was great. Great song. I fucking love that song. Fantastic. And then just randomly there's Belinda Chandra right at the end. It's the Verada Sethu week this week. We're gonna get to talk about her more than once. I love this storyline, and I'm so nervous for Mon Mothma as to where it's going after this, because we're going to be jumping forward a year. So yeah. Anyway, Fulya, I'm going to stop rambling now. I would love to hear what you thought of this this part of the story.
Yeah, look, I kind of sympathize for Mon Mothma in this particular chapter, just because of the fact that she's not only having to deal with a wedding of her only child, but also everything else that's happening for her politically, and where she's just trying to give a voice to the people who don't have the ability to voice their opinions. um she's now getting to a point where she's had no choice but to borrow money from someone who then wanted to marry off their son with her daughter for them to be, to make it a deal. And it was just like, it was interesting the way that season 1 ended with her, where they were like, I just want my son to be introduced to your daughter, because why not, just for funsies. But Mon Mothma's like, you're not talking about the betrothal. They're like, no, it's just, just introduce them, see what happens. And then the year later that we come across, and then we come to this where they're getting married, and I'm like, yeah, that didn't see that one coming. So, yeah, like I feel bad for her, because she's just a ball of stress, essentially. Like, the amount of shit she has to go through to get what she needs, to be able to do what she needs to do for the people, and for the rebellion. And it's like, wow. Like, she's also getting to a point where she's losing people from her life because of it, and it's sad. So I can understand why by the end of the chapter, like by the time like episode 3 happens, she just wants to forget everything, just get wasted and just dance the night away so that she can forget what just happened. And I kind of feel for her. And yeah, it was a really, I really loved the Mon Mothma kind of story, I guess, in that particular sequence.
Yeah, for sure. Mike, what are your thoughts on Mon Mothma in this storyline?
Well, I was going to say she has come a long way since a deleted scene in the second movie. So, so it's amazing that she's like turned into like a very principal like character, because she also turns up in Rebels. She also turns up in all these other stories that deals with the forming of the Empire, and she's only in like one scene in the original trilogy. And it's amazing how they sort of go back and like add on to what these characters are doing and what they're up to. And yeah, the character of Moss being a principal like representation of the rebellion. And it also goes on to what history is as well. Like, unfortunately, we only know like rebel fighters and people who are trying to change like the outcomes of like different things, like Martin Luther King, like Jr. Wasn't a poor person, but they actually used their wealth to actually bring forth the fight, because unfortunately rich people are the only ones that can do something, which is really unfortunate. And we sort of like don't know the sort of like the bottom people, will go into like the people who are doing the farms, but they're still part of the rebellion. So it's kind of good that they're actually showing both sides of like this sort of conflict. Of it's not just the rich elite that you know what, I'm going to use my influence for good. It's also the people who are fighting as well, and we get to see this even in the first season with Andy Serkis's character actually getting everyone out, even though he could not swim, and his story ended there. And do we know what happened to him? We don't know. Maybe he got caught and got killed. We don't know. So it's all those individuals that are important as well as the rich elite dickheads as well. I mean, you can't be rich without exploiting someone. So, and this is what the last scene is really building towards, that Mon Mothma is going to go, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I need to like turn my entire standing in life, as well as the Republic, as well as the new formed Galactic Empire, and I can't do this anymore. And you can sort of see it in this scene that she is, instead of being the prim and proper, is like, this is the affront. You know what? I don't need this anymore. I'm going to let my hair down, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically, and all the figurativelys that there are. And that's what this show's taking note. It's the form of the Empire. And will we see the rebel crew? I'm still thinking we'll probably get brief glimpses of them. Maybe. Don't know. It would be nice, but this is not the series for member berries, like, all too often. Even though there are sort of subtle hints of, I know where this place is actually. We're on the moon.
That's no moon.
It's the rebels' strong keep in the first in A New Hope. I know that building, those ruins over there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's fast track this. Now we'll kind of just combine, I think, Cassian and Bix into one, because they're probably the most connected. And I don't have a lot to say about Cassian's arc in these 3 episodes, except to say that just this, I mean, him and Bix, these episodes, I was just like, can we just let them not get put into these situations where things keep going wrong and bad things keep happening, and Jesus Christ. But I didn't like, my one criticism of the episodes was I did not care for this stupid rebel conflict infighting that Cassian was thrown in the middle of. I didn't like it. I get what they were trying to do by showing, like, the further out from the rebellion you get, the kind of, hodgepodge mess it kind of is, because they're all just like, so I kind of get that it's not, rebellions aren't perfect, obviously. Nothing's perfect, but I just felt like they needed Cassian to be somewhere while everything else was happening. Like, plot was happening to his friends. They just had to put him over here. So that was weird. But I liked the opening of the show with him getting the TIE fighter out. I thought that was cool. That whole sequence, and the fact that he can't just naturally fly it like everybody else in Star Wars. Like,
it's a prototype. Like, he's never seen anything like this before.
Yeah. It's a cool TIE fighter that's going to sell a lot of toys. So they've done it again. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really have to say. But it was good to see him get to Bix and everyone. But R.I.P. Brasso. Very sad. I was very sad that he didn't make it out. And they had to leave him behind, and they had to leave B2 Emo behind as well. I mean, they're going to go back for him, of course, but still, when he was, oh well, I hope so. Hopefully, we cut to a year later and he's back on board, whatever ship or wherever that he's with them somewhere. Just because he was just the way he was just like, "You're leaving me," you know.
But the thing is, the fact that they gave this droid a voice
Yeah,
just makes him more, you know, like you connect with it so much more than just a droid that has a lot of beeps and boops, you know?
yeah, it's a great direction with the
Mm.
character. I really like it a lot. Yeah, so he was a highlight, and yeah, like I alluded to, and Mike, you alluded to as well. Bix and her unfortunate encounter with an Imperial lieutenant. Yeah, I kind of applaud and commend Tony Gilroy for putting this in there. This attempted rape scene. Uh, again, we've never seen something like that in Star Wars, but it's, they're doing, this is like you said, Andor is not your kids' Star Wars. This ain't even your mum's Star Wars. Like, it's the nitty gritty dark recesses of the Empire versus the Rebels, and it's the real shit. It's what happens in times of war, like you said, Mike. So I really appreciate that they did that. It was jarring at first for me to, see it happening and hear the word rape being uttered in a Star Wars thing, and I was like, oh my god. But I'm like, no, this is good. I think this is the sort of stuff that has to be addressed, or like, but I just wish Bix could just catch a break, man. She's been through so much. But yeah, it was interesting to kind of see this perspective of the galaxy, and how the Empire controls these harvesting planets, for their food supply and all this, because of course they, something like this would happen, same way that it does on our planet. So that was kind of interesting. And then the random checks and looking for, unregistered people, and it's all very allegory to real world scenarios and all of that. And
They didn't have the visas.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I enjoyed watching that story unfold, and the tension of it as well. But yeah, I was glad that they got out of there. But yeah, it didn't all go according to plan. For them at the end. Fulya, what did you think of Bix and Cassian these episodes?
I will second your sentiment with Cassian's stuck in this other world between this little civil rivalry kind of thing that's happening. And I just was like, this is a waste of time. Like,
Yeah.
I get that they're trying to make it out as if, Cassian's stuck, but he needs to find a way out of it. But they didn't have to drag it out so long. I kind of wish they didn't drag it out so long.
Yeah.
It
was strange.
But I understand what they were trying to do in the way that everything was happening to Bix and is it Brasso?
Yeah, Brasso,
yeah. And that group, while they were trying to just kind of live a normal life in a way, quote unquote. But I just wish that it didn't take so long. Like, it just, for me, it just felt like it was too long, and it was like, it was so boring too. It's like, oh, these two groups, like this big group of people, are arguing with each other because nobody's leading them.
Nobody's leading them, and they won't listen to Cassian, and the fact that he's on their side, and it's just like all of those people died for no reason. Like,
exactly, and
but,
it was
that's war, I guess, too.
It was just stupid. But the stuff that happened with Bix was very uncomfortable. To watch her go through all that, the fact that she was already tortured at Farrix, and then she's still tortured by those visuals in her head.
Yeah.
Right. So she can't even, like, she's having a hard time sleeping. She's having nightmares. And then this happens to her, and it's like, come on.
Mm.
Like, I understand that they're touching on these kind of topics to show that this stuff does happen in real life as well. But like, why is she ever left alone?
uh,
They, I just wish there was always someone there, you know, or someone that was close by, not running from the other side of the damn field trying to get to him, or
Yep.
oh, I need to go off and find Will and blah blah. And I'm anyway. Yeah, it was a lot to take in. I will say, and I felt for Bix so much, but she was strong enough to get through it, to be able to
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I admire her for that.
So do I. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you. Mike, take us out of our Andor chat with your thoughts on Cassian and Bix.
Yeah, the Cassian thing was awesome. It's just insane and just great action, and harkens back to if you've played any Star Wars game, you're kind of like that with any sort of spacecraft that you're in for the first time, because you're never graceful on your first go. You're always bumping into things, so I kind of like that. And also Cassian does the second shit, says the word shit for the second time in this show, which is great. So I'm still hoping for a fuck. Come on, give me a fuck. Krennic can say fuck.
Krennic can say fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the Aussie. He can say it.
Is it? Oh fuck. Something, I don't know. Yeah, and after that, yeah, it definitely felt like it was treading water for that for that collection of scenes and sort of rabble of rebellious people. And yeah, it does. It is sort of a real life thing. If you don't really have a direction, the entire thing can fall apart, which is really unfortunate. Just like you're doing the same goal, it's just how to go about it and how to organize. And there's some of the problems with rebellious like people, because they're all meaningful, but they do need direction. And sometimes people don't really take direction that well, which is hugely unfortunate. So you can't really organize anything. But he escaped, which is good. And we find out that it's it's not proven, but it does linger on the fact that this would be the rebels' first sort of base that they would go to, and we get to go to this place in Rebel 1 as well, and it's where they go in New Hope as well, so that's good. Memories, always good if you know, but it's not essential if you don't know, so it's good. The wheat planet, the farming planet, one topographical feature planet. I kind of like the fact that they are dealing with this sort of thing, like when it comes like political occupation. Sometimes the people who suffer are the downtrodden, and also the undocumented migrants that do hard labor because they're cheap and they do anything just to survive. So as I said, there's no real ethical billionaires. It's just people that know how to manipulate and yeah. In the words of Socko, the sock puppet from Bo Burnham's Inside, The world is built on blood, genocide, and exploitation.
Mm-hmm.
Wise words from a sock. Yeah, it was a hard thing to watch. The first thing oh, I'm slowing down. Yeah, just seeing those sort of scenes is very, very sticky and done very well and very truth to nature. And I'm glad that he succumbed to his head injury by being whacked in the head with a shifter. Well deserved kill. And no, people can't take a break because this is wartime, damn it. It never lets up. There's no time to breathe. You just keep on going. But it's a good show. Just a bit more fun times with just with other things as well as the heroine stuff. Heroines, not heroine. That's something else. Even though Cyril's mum asked for spiced tea, which is kind of cool. She's a drug addict.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That's an illegal substance, Mum. Yeah, who cares? Give me
I do what I want.
spice. He who controls the spice controls the universe.
Yes.
Quick, put your hand in this box. Ah! Fear is the mind killer. Anyway.
Fear is the mind killer. Yes. All right. Well, that's Andor. That's chapter 1. Our 3 episodes of 1 year later, Sigruna Tima and Harvest. That's a quarter of the show done. Of the season done. So chapter 2 will be discussed next week on the pod.
Another year time jump.
Another year down the road, closer to the events of Rogue One.
Will Cyril and have a baby?
We still have a baby. Who knows? We'll find out later on. But until then, it's time for the moment. The section, the segment, the part, the place, the time, the wibbly, the wobbly, the timey, the wimey. It's time for
Popcorn culture.
Talking who? Hey. Talking who? Hey. Toxic by Britney Spears.
In Doctor Who again. Yes. Love it. Russell T Davies likes Britney Spears, I guess.
He's a fan. He's a fan of
He's
Britney.
A fan.
One of the first ones that says, leave her alone. Remember that meme? I remember that meme. I'm old.
I remember that meme. Yeah. I remember it. Okay. So, we're here to discuss the latest episode of Doctor Who, which is Series 2/15, Episode 3, The Well.
Back to the well.
Back to the Well. Overall thoughts. This was a great episode. This felt like, I don't want to say old New Who, but old New Who. Like, this felt like David Tennant era, like Russell T at the top of his game. Like, it just, I loved this episode. This is, I mean, last week was great. This week was just, they're really figuring things out now in this new landscape of Disney and reboots and whatever you want to call this. So I really, really loved this episode. I thought it was great. It was, the tension was high, the stakes were there, and you know, how are they going to get out of this one? How are they going to figure it out? And then the surprising connection, speaking of David Tennant era Doctor Who, I'm really curious to hear Mike's thoughts on that when we talk about that. But that was really cool. So yeah, it was just, it was just a great episode of Doctor Who, I gotta say. And just to add on that note, according to IMDb, it is now the highest rated of the Ncuti Gatwa run of Doctor Who. So I think that's deserved. It was a very good episode. Yeah, I'm just gonna be gushing about this episode the whole time. Fulia, tell us your overall thoughts. Did you like this episode as much as I did?
Yeah, look, it's a lot of tension in this particular episode, and it really had me on the edge of my seat thinking, oh, what's going on? Like, and for me, because I have never, I won't say I never, I haven't gone back to rewatch a lot of the New Who episodes from the original reboot run. So I think the episode with the David Tennant run where he is on this particular planet once before, I don't really remember much, but it was sort of interesting to see that flashback happen for like a split second. And yeah, it just, there was like just the amount of stress and tension that was happening in this one place. And the way that it starts is like they get onto this spaceship and then all of a sudden they're literally dropped into it, like into the deep end. Just like, boom, you're on another place now. Let's go explore. So that was really interesting that a lot of this episode was essentially just in this one space. Where they still move around a little bit from one end to the other in this particular area, but it was mostly next to this giant hole that they were mining down into, but also in this room where we find a sole survivor on this thing. And things are going awry. Everybody's died. And you're all kind of wondering what the hell's going on. And there's like moments of, oh, they see something, but we as the viewers don't see it, but you kind of can. Like there's always something, like there's something there, but they don't even give you an idea of what that something is. They're just like, we'll just give them a little kind of like a shadow or a silhouette, and then that's it. And it gets taken away in like a split second. And it just kept me so intrigued and wondering, I want to know what this thing looks like. Let me see it. But we never get to see it. So it had me intrigued for the whole episode. It was good. And you've muted yourself.
I muted myself. I'm so tired, okay? Leave me alone.
It's okay.
I mean, I'm tired every week, apparently, because I do this every fucking week. Mike, hello. What did you think of this episode? I'm really excited to hear what you thought.
Well, rumors around not just this episode, but there was a rumor going around that there was going to be a sequel sort of episode, a secret sequel episode to one of the previous Doctor Who's. And a lot of people were speculating it was this one because it definitely has elements of previous episodes. The Creature in the Pit was definitely one of them. So it could have been, because we're dealing with Pantheon of the Gods, one of them was the Doctor versus Satan. So they don't know if they're going to do this again, of him falling into the pit and actually fighting Satan again. I was thinking that, but this came awry when they're doing a sequel to Midnight, which is a very well done episode, a bottle episode, as you know, because it all takes place on a space bus, and very minimal sort of stuff to be added, and the creature being something that we can't comprehend as well as or even see. And I'm happy that they didn't really go down to showing what the creature actually looks like, even though it's 400,000 years later, and where they are. That was a very scary episode, and it was a very contentious episode because it was deemed maybe it was too scary. It definitely has a sort of doesn't feel like a Doctor Who episode. It was more like a Twilight episode,
Twilight
where
Zone, yeah.
it was Stephen King and all these other ones, and just having a Doctor Who sort of feel for it. And the Doctor, in a way, the Doctor sort of doesn't really win that episode. He just managed to escape, and it's a very interesting sequel to the episode because it doesn't really do much of the rules, as it were, in the previous episode, but it has been so long that the creature may have been doing evolved to do something else, and I don't know. I kind of like it for what it is, being a standalone episode. For a sequel, it didn't really hit me. It's like, oh yeah, this is the same creature. But I do applaud the fact that last week I said that it was a shame that New Who doesn't really do recurring like creatures and monsters of the week, and this just blew it out of proportion. It was like, yeah, okay, cool, and we weren't really sure the previous episode where if that was going to be a standalone or do anything. But I like the fact that, spoilers alert for the ending, this could be a more continuation and a bit more an episode that you can go to that's a bit more scary, and sort of out the corner of your eye, sort of. Did you miss that? Oh, maybe. Sweet. Yeah, overall, I kind of like the episode for a standalone episode. Not necessarily the sequel aspect, but it was damn scary. And and unfortunately, I was watching it with my daughter, and she got scared. I was like, this is Doctor Who. It's going to be fine. And then this episode happens. Like, ooh, I may have been too much. Yeah. Careful, Icarus. I'm flying too close to the sun. I just say, the Doctor always wins. The Doctor always wins, honey. It's fine. The Doctor always wins. And he sort of wins.
Yeah, he sort of wins. Sort of.
With this version.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Apparently
the ending.
there's two of them down that well.
Yeah, well, Fulya, you mentioned, how at the beginning of the episode, when they were immediately as soon as they landed in the new timeline, landed in the new place, 500,000 years essentially in the future. And then they were just literally dropped right into the action. I really like that as well. And then, and Doctor Who does a lot of, I suppose, military takes. Like there's all these different sort of military factions that kind of get brought up from time to time. And I kind of, we didn't get to find too much about what these group of, soldiers really were. Like we found out what their mission was and all of that. But no, I liked them and I liked the group of them, and the alien vibes were off the charts, or I should say aliens plural. It just really made me think of, the plot of Aliens is basically a group of soldiers going in to a base where people were living and working, colonizing, and they're all dead, and then they find out why, and it doesn't end up so well for them either. So it was a very much a as much as it was a Doctor Who episode and a sequel to Midnight, it was also I felt an homage to Aliens, in a way, and I thought that was kind of cool. And I love when the Doctor uses the psychic paper. Um, like it's such a good and it's a total Deus Ex Machina, but it's such a good one because otherwise, you're gonna have this conflict the same week, like the same conflict every week you watch Doctor Who. It's just like, well, how is he going to explain? How is he going to get into this room he needs to get in to save the universe? And blah blah blah. Like it's just really a clever thing that they invented for this character. So that was fun, even though one of the soldiers didn't buy it at all. Um, but yeah, I liked the group of soldiers, and I liked how we kind of got to know some of them a bit. Like I liked, the leader, Shia Costellian. She was cool. She was badass. R.I.P. She was great. And then the fucking douche canoe of Cassio, no Cassian. His name's Cassio. Sorry, we're just talking about Andor.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie. His last name is Palin Pauline, and that's hyphenated. It's kind of fun. But he was a really interesting character. Just immediately mutinying and just being like, nah, I don't believe this doctor and what he's saying. And yeah, and then that didn't end up so well for him either. And then I really liked. I'm trying to find the cast listing, but I loved I think it was Mo Gilligan, the other nurse, I suppose, that was there. Mo. She was great. I liked her, and now I'm really scared for her at the end of this. But yeah, the cast of supporting characters in here was really good. And then of course, you had Alice Fenley at the center of it. She was cool. Shout out for hearing impaired representation in sci-fi. That was really cool to see, and how like they made references to it in the world of like a nurse that can't sign. That's illegal. Like you got to be able to sign. Like I just thought that was kind of cool. And how all the suits had like these projective text boxes on them built in. I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, I really liked Alice and how they played with, can we trust her, what's going on, and then it's like, oh no, she's an innocent victim in this entire situation. Yeah, I wondered if she was going to get out alive at all by the end of it. So yeah, so she was really great. Fulia, what did you think of our supporting players in this episode and the setting of this episode? How did it all come together for you?
Yeah, it was interesting. Getting to get an idea of what this team was about, what they were there for. Having a leader in Shire, and then what seems he may have been like the second in command, Cassio. But like it's one of those things where I kind of see where Cassio was kind of coming from, in the sense that the Doctor and Belinda just rock up out of nowhere, and all of a sudden Shire is trusting him with the information that he knows. But when you hear information that sounds so confident, you want to believe it. Like you tend to believe it, right? And so I understand why Shire would be like, let the Doctor speak. Apparently the Doctor knows what they're talking about, and Cassio is just one of those people who's just like, he's rocked up, and in 2 seconds he knows everything. Who is this person? Why should we be trusting him? I feel like he's just had a lot of trust issues in his life, and so he hasn't been able to work them out. Um, so yeah, it's an interesting sort of cast of characters that we get to meet. Everybody had a role to play. Um, Alice was also an interesting one where, she can't hear. And so everybody on their suits have these little devices. They're kind of like little discs that they have to put on, which project what they're saying as like closed captions, which is really cool. And the other thing that I noticed is that whenever they're not referring to her or talking to her like directly, they turn it off so that Alice doesn't like understand what's going on or hear what they're saying. Which I kind of feel like was like, why are you hiding everything like in terms of communication? If she wasn't hearing impaired, she would hear everything that you're talking about right now. So why would you block her out in this instance, And yeah, it was just one of those things where I'm just like, I felt bad for Alice, and especially considering the fact that what was happening to her and the situation that she was in, being stuck with this monster behind her this whole time. It was very hard for her to not be able to be like, hey, I'm not doing this. It's not my fault, but there is something behind me. So it was one of those kind of situations where you just like, who do you believe? So yeah, very interesting sort of group of characters, and yeah, they all had something to say and do, and it just made for a very good episode because of it.
Yeah, definitely. What's the expression? Like like I don't know, a ship's as strong as its smallest parts or something. There's this expression that goes along that line. But anyway, Mike, what did you think of our setting here and our supporting characters?
I really like it. That unfortunately, it is one of those introduce so many characters for them to slaughter, which is an unfortunate thing. But having a character who is hearing impaired and how that is sort of not just to throw it in for the sake of saying, hey, check it out, we're being progressive, but it actually ties into the actual meaning of why she's alive because of whispers and that. And I like the fact that with the turning the on and off of the subtitles of people is sort of a real dick move when it comes to hearing impaired, and including the doctor actually turning his back on Elise is a bit of a faux pas when it comes to talking to someone who can read lips, and you sort of disadvantaging the disadvantage, which is a real dick move. And yeah, the doctor does say I'm sorry as well. Yeah, I like the fact. No, I don't like the fact. It's well, there is a bit where each doctor gets to wear the purple, the orange spacesuit with helmet. We've seen all the other New Who doctors wear it, and they could have put it in there, but they have new suits, which it's fair because the suits look great and very uniform and looks fairly comfortable, I reckon. But the disadvantages and advantages, they all look the same. So So I don't know. Maybe that is a factor with the creature like latching onto other people. It's like, well, this Elise is unique and different. It's like I'm gonna make sure that she can stays on with me, and I can accidentally kill other people because the creature is just there to survive. It's the main physical pull to survive, and we don't know how many of them are down that pit. Yeah, a good standout is probably the other nurse, Mo, because and having Belinda interact with her, it's like how uh, the health science sort of evolves as well. So that's kind of cool, and also the little touches of the overarching storyline of they've never heard of the Earth and where this Earth is going. So that's some good nuggets. I like those nuggets. I like nuggets. I'm sorry, but I do. I'm done.
Nuggets are good.
Nuggets are good.
Nuggets are good. Cool. Well, let's we touched on it a bit already, but let's talk about the beastie of the week.
The great big beastie.
The great big beastie. Yeah, you guys know I love horror, and I really loved the quick blink and you'll miss it shots of what was behind Alice the whole time. That was fun. I enjoyed the paranoia amongst the soldiers, and the like willingness or unwillingness to believe themselves and each other about what they were seeing versus not seeing. I thought that was really well done as well. Yeah, it was just really really cool, and I didn't know how they were going to defeat this thing and save Alice, and I didn't expect, because I obviously not as in touch with the grapevine of Doctor Who as you are, Mike, but I had no idea that there was a potential for an episode this season to be connected to something else, and the fact that it's this and the fact that it's midnight that it's connected to is just excellent. Because yeah, just to touch on what you said earlier, I really liked that episode of Doctor Who Midnight. I thought it was amazing. And it was so cool for me in this watching this, being like, oh my god, they're pulling back, they're referencing something I've seen and I know and I can understand it and I'm not missing anything. It's just, it felt great. I felt a part of things. It was nice. But yeah, that's a great episode of Doctor Who. So yeah, it was cool for Russell to dip back into his old playbook and bring that out. But it was interesting considering, like, in Midnight the creature possesses the people on the bus or the train or whatever it was back then. But here the creature is just sort of really creepily hovering behind, and you can't see it unless it wants you to see it, I think. And if you do see it, it kills you, kind of thing. So it's slightly different from what I remember in Midnight, but the fact that it's the same thing, and I love the way the Doctor figures it out as well, with the whole, this used to be a planet covered in diamonds, and then he's like, I've been here before, and just that oh my god moment, like, that was really cool as well. And then yeah, too, I will say I like that they didn't show the creature. They just, showed a little half a silhouette, and yeah, and then moved on. But yeah, it was really cool. And then I gotta say that I really like the action sequence in this episode where shit hit the fan big time, and then everyone just sort of started dying, um, because Alice would turn a certain way, uh, because the soldiers were trying to figure out how to stop this thing, and then people just started flying around the room, and it was just like, oh god, oh god, oh god. Like, I thought that was really well done, because, like, I talk about a lot about how, how do you set up stakes in the show like this, where you have your main character and your companion, like, they're not, nothing's really severe is going to happen to them in episode 3 of the new season. But regardless, you feel their tension in the moment, and you feel like just the, like, because this is a creature at that, we don't know what the fuck it is really, and how it's doing it, and it's just so, just like, oh, it's gut wrenching. Watching it all happen, and the fact that Alice can't control, we don't know if she has any control over anything, but she's just like, I can't. It's just latched itself to me because of what I did. I killed my friend, and now I have this creature. That was a cool thing, like, tag you're it sort of premise. Adding to the sinister nature of it. I thought was really cool. And then using the Mercury as a mirror for it to actually, like, that was the one thing I wanted to ask you guys. The Doctor puts together that there's a second creature there. There's 2 of them. I think maybe I just answered my own question in my head. Because it's 2 of the same creature, isn't it? Is that what we're kind of led to believe?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that explains sort of what I was thinking then. I can't even remember what my question was going to be, because I was just like, oh, how do they?
I think it was when
figure this out?
if they said that if it sees its own reflection, that it would go against it, like,
Yeah, it would like rebound on itself or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's a feedback loop,
Feedback loop. Yeah, which is interesting.
and it gets confused until it says, okay, I need to actually find them. So, and they ran as fast as they could.
Yeah.
Until they got caught up with them.
Yeah, basically. Right as they were waiting to get out and escape.
But I don't think there's 2 of them.
Okay,
I don't think
so
they knew there was 2 of them.
Okay, so that's just something that we know from watching the ending.
Sort of speculating at the end.
Yeah, that there's 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because one got on the elevator.
Yeah, one got on the elevator, and then one went down the hole.
Because keen-eye viewers saw that when the 3 left with Alison to get to the ship, they panned to how many people were actually on there, and there was 4. So what was the other one?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, like when they say, like, maximum occupant 6, and it shows 4.
Yeah. They show 4.
Yeah, right.
But we saw 3. Yeah.
We saw 3, indeed. Fulya, any thoughts on the baddie of the week?
It was just very eerie not being able to see what this creature was. It's like it's left to your own sort of imagination to be like, all right, you come up with what this thing looks like. It could be your worst nightmare, or it could be something completely different. Like, we don't know. But you just won't see it. And I guess in that sort of sense, it's a fascinating way of tricking the viewer's mind, to think that there is something there, even though there isn't. And I liked it in a way, but I'm that type of person. I like the visual. I need to see what this thing is. And from the expression that we got from the Doctor on how horrified he looked when he managed to see it, and I just looking at his face, and shout out to Shooty Gutman for just for that extreme close of his face, just portraying the fear in his eyes. And I'm just like, oh God, it's the scariest thing he's ever seen.
Yeah, yeah. Like the way he talks about what happened on midnight, about like never being so scared and
Mm,
all of that. Oh, it was good.
yeah. So not knowing what this creature looks like, I keep thinking to myself, damn it, I want to know. So they did a very good job of, you know, they've done a very good job of telling the story of this creature that will never get to see the light of day, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Mike, I know you've talked a bit about midnight and this creature. Did you have any other thoughts you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, when the episode was going through, my first thought of Belinda acting weird, of looking around, it's like, what was that? And we're not really seeing it. It's like, are we doing the silence again? Considering we've been watching that season of creatures being there but not being there, and then yeah, it turns out it was a creature that we have not seen and will probably never seen, which is a lot more scarier there. So, and a lot more harder to cosplay. Dare I say? It's not cosplayer friendly. I'm sorry for the people out there who want the cosplayers as different things. Not here. It's like Wonder Woman's invisible jet. Can't do it. I'm sorry. Can't be wearing that. But yeah, I do like the fact that it's a creature that we haven't seen and will not see, and it whispers to you, which is even more freaky. Of a creature that you cannot see because it's always behind you, but it's still whispering in your ear, and and you would survive if you cannot hear as well. So they're sort of turning your back on a hearing impaired person is extra scary for someone who knows someone's behind you.
Mm.
And is only told that they're whispering. Is like, so they're whispering to me and they're behind me. That's scary as hell. Get me out of here, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I like this or not, because I don't think it will go anywhere. But the creature knows the doctor's actual name.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, because when the doctor is like scared, it's like it knows my name. How does it know my name? Why does it know my name? The only people who know my name is River, and we're not going to see it. Or maybe it's connection to River. Oh, Easter eggs. Maybe it's the embodiment of River after being uploaded into the library cloud. Ooh, she lives on in this creature without actually getting River into the show. I don't know. Spitballing here.
Any excuse to bring on River Song, please and thank you.
Yes.
I'll take it. Okay. Do we want to talk about the ending and wrap this up?
Yes, please.
Excellent. All right. Well, we've already touched on it a little bit. The fact that we get to the climax where the doctor figures it out. Like, if we can free Alice from the creature, and then we have to just figure out how to get out after that, and then the leader of the pack, leader of the soldiers, I've forgotten her name already, Shia. She has to she makes the decision to sacrifice herself to save them, doing her duty and her job, and they show us like these flashes of glimpses of her when she was a child, and because she briefly talks about her childhood and what she went through and stuff during the episode, and then they flash to it as she's running, like she's running as a kid and then she's running as an adult, and it's just this kind of really emotional little moment. It kind of got me in the feels a bit. I was like, oh, I just met this woman and now I'm gonna watch her die and I'm sad. So that, yeah, excellent writing, I guess. But that was, and then the doctor, knew exactly what she was gonna do and run to the into where they drilled. How many was it? Did they say 5 miles or something into the core of through the core of the planet? However long,
That.
something like that. Yeah, yeah. And the doctor, tried to save her and just wasn't quick enough. And yeah, but like, I feel like how else were they gonna get out of there? Someone had to die, right? Someone had to take it down with them, and it had to be Shire.
Just like midnight.
Yeah. Yes and yes. But yeah, that was good. And then two other little things to just mention. We get our obligatory Mrs. Flood cameo at the end, which was just chilling. She knows about the Vindicator.
I was gonna say she has more to say.
She has more to say this time. She's slowly revealing herself a bit. She knows about the Vindicator and what they're trying to do. So clearly she's connected to why they can't get back to 2025, I think. That's how I'm reading that.
Yeah, that was the one thing that they also mentioned, the fact that these people had no idea about Earth and the human race.
That was the other thing I was going to mention.
Yeah.
Which was also very chilling, because the doctor's like, no. At this point, Earth is still very much a part of this alliance with these peoples, and they're very much in the throng of the society of the universe, I suppose. And here we're they're saying human race to these people, and they're like, what's that? What do you mean? What's Earth? Like, they got no idea. And then it's just like, oh god, imagine finding out the entire planet where you're from is probably not there anymore. And when we know that's true, because we've seen that glimpse, right, from the beginning of the season, of the planet not being there. So
the debris floating in space.
Floating in space. And then the little nugget of Mo maybe having a creature attached to her now, and like, oh well, that's just depressing. I liked her too. Now she's in trouble. God damn it. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, exciting stuff. Set up, and bloody what's her name's back next week? Why can't I think of her name? I know her name. Ruby Sunday. Ruby's back next week, so I'm keen for that. Let's go. Fulia, your thoughts on the ending, please, and thank you.
Yes. I liked how it all sort of ended. Shire deciding that as the leader needs to do her job and sacrifice herself. And lucky she's a very good shot, because holy crap, did I like, my heart skipped a bit when she shot Belinda, and I'm like, oh, what? How? Because she kind of has to like fake kill her in a way, but still hit her, so that the creature would then attach itself to her, to make it as if Belinda died for like a split second or something. I don't know. And it kind of had me thinking, oh crap, please, no. I hope she wakes up. And I'm glad they had their own sort of space version of defibrillators to kind of, bring her heart back to life. Yeah, so that was like tension that just rose immediately. And and then the whole like idea of Mo being stuck with this creature just was like, man, we almost had it. We were so close. We were so close to having to, not worry about them anymore. But no, it got attached to someone else. And it was someone good too. And we're like, damn it. So yeah. It was interesting to say the least. Like it was good news but bad news at the same time. And I kind of sort of I feel bad for Mo now because we don't know whether or not she hears the thing because her co-worker or like saw something potentially, and we don't know. So and we're never gonna know unless we revisit them. I don't know, but it was an interesting way to end it. It's like very inconspicuous and like you're never gonna know what's gonna happen next.
Oh yes, that's very true. Got lots of mysteries happening. Mike, how did the ending and the setup for next week go for you?
I did like the ending. I don't know. I thought it was a bit too convenient, but I did like the sort of added twist of, no, there was two of them, because it would just sort of kick the can down the road of giving someone else a go at this scenario or where it's going to go. But overall, I did enjoy the fact that it ended this story for where it was, and it found a nice little setup of the overall thing of not knowing what the Earth is, and then it just added the fact that Mrs. Flood is at the end and being more prominent within the sort of story of actually finding out what the Doctor is up to with these Vindicators and trying to get back to the 24th of March, something like that.
May.
Which is the which is the penultimate episode of Doctor Who to be streamed on. So it's not a coincidence. It's deliberate. So that's good. And the added fact that it has a scary ending of this could continue was it was a good for me, because I really would like to see recurring stuff with Doctor Who again. I mean, the last thing that we had from New Who was the Weeping Angels, and they sort of wrote themselves into doing the same thing over and over until the Jodie Whittaker episode where we find out that they're essentially old Time Lords, which is kind of cool and sort of adding to the mythos. Was good episode, and I'm happy that it was a good episode from back to back. There hasn't really been a sleeper episode this season, which I'm happy. So keep up the good work. Could be, I don't know, it could be a wet fish next week. Who cares? Doctor Who's back, baby.
Yeah, we'll see how we go.
That's all that I can think of. Yeah.
Nice. All right, that's it. Those are our thoughts on the latest episode of Doctor Who, The Well. That was awesome. Great discussion. Great episode of Doctor Who. Podcast is done, guys. We can wrap it up.
I made it.
Yay!
We survived. We made it. Oh my god! And we were coherent for pretty much most of it, I think.
I took one of those antihistamines that are not the not drowsy ones, but this is really, I mean, competing medications here. I'm having an energy drink as well as something that's knocking me out and it's killing me.
Well, what better note to end on than that? A 1, a 2, a 3.
And that
was a
was a
podcast
podcast called
Fred.
Fred.
Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky for the latest Fred content.
If you'd like to listen to Fred the Alien, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
If you'd like to watch Fred the Alien, you can head over to youtube.com/Alien Productions. And if you're watching us right now, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified of future content. And if you're watching us live over on Twitch, make sure to hit the follow on the way out. Twitch.tv/Fred the Alien Twitch.
I've been Kendall Richardson.
I've been Fulya and
And I've been the most sleepy I've ever been on this podcast. I'm Michael Lister.
And
you
just experienced a podcast called Fred.
Transition.
Remember to eat beef.
Remember, Freddy lives, Loki dies, the Doctor is in, and this is the sound of me blowing my nose.
Oh, boy.
There we go. Something to handle.
Remember to look after yourself and your mental health, everyone.
Yes, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Laters, gators.
Yes.
And